This is Master Prophet E. Bernard Jordan and Prophetess Deborah Jordan, and welcome to the Power of Prophecy.
More than a psychology, more than just an ecology, bigger than biology, larger than anthropology, brushes against astrology. That's prophecology.
We have a special guest with us here today, and we're honored to have this great man of God. He's here in our city, so I asked him to come on by, to stop on by. Whenever we get together, the conversation just deepens and deepens and deepens, and so we enjoy him. He's also a musician. Did you know he's also a musician?
That's something, yes, sir.
Did you know? I mean, he was a music major.
Yes. Wow.
He was at Morehouse in the choir. At Morehouse, am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
He was in the choir.
Absolutely.
But how did he go from music to theology? See, I want to find out about that.
Yes, sir.
And then pastor of a great progressive church. He's very progressive in his thinking. I don't even know how his church I don't even know how his church even holds him.
Yes, sure.
You know, you get people like that. You know, you just you know. I'm sure his congregation probably sits there and their head is tilted most of the time.
Lord
you
have
know,
mercy.
you
Lord
know,
have
like,
mercy.
but see, Bishop McKinley used to say, true theology produces an argument in the seat. And he says that if the words you preach don't create an argument in the seats that causes one to begin to wrestle with what is in the text or what there is in the book, he says you really haven't preached the gospel. This man of God makes your mind wrestle. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. And so let's give a hand for Bishop Jonathan Alvarado.
Bless you, sir.
Bless you.
Well,
you're no stranger here. You spoke for prophecology. You've been here for podcasts. And we've been seeing each other around for years. Tell us where your church is at.
Sure.
And what you're doing now.
Grace Church International in Atlanta, Georgia, multi-site congregation. One church, but we have a couple of campuses and a virtual campus there in the city of Atlanta. By God's grace, for the last 29 years, we've been plowing out the work and toiling in the vineyard there, and God's given us great grace, great opportunity in the city, great access to the hearts of the city. And in a very real way, we've become a prophetic community to lead our city, and the Lord has given us grace to be able to do so in the area of praise and worship and in leading in some what some would say imaginative theological foray.
Okay, y'all get your notebooks out because we're getting started. Get your notebooks out. I got my notebook right here.
Well, deep calleth unto deep at the noise of that water. So I'm always encouraged to see, and we've had conversation before about the longevity of our relationship, but then the distance in watching. I've watched from a distance and have been able to both admire and scratch my head and read some of your works and hear some of your sermonizing and prophecy and the what I believe is very Pentecostal, very charismatic, very renewal in its theological orientation. And I believe that is the salvation of the church, the trajectory of the church, and moving the church into a realized future. our church, Grace Church International, embraces and moves forward in some of those avant-garde fields, because the complexities of the 21st century will not be solved with theology of the 18th or the 19th century. We're going to have to
say that again. We have to, it's Friday. Some of these people are just getting over their happy hour. You got to say this. You have to say that again. You said that
the complexities of the 21st century will not be addressed by the theologies of the 19th or the 18th century. I believe that God is calling us into, again, imaginative, creative, constructive, theological, avant-garde fields to give us creative, Elohistic ability to be able to think through contemporary problems and quandaries and be able to both prophesy and theologize. And I believe that prophecy is a dimension of theological expression. Okay. Because when Paul admonishes one to prophesy, he says, prophesy according to the measure of your faith. And your faith is developed by hearing. So the things that we have heard, the things that we have assimilated, the things that we've understood, we prophesy from that vantage point, from that place, from that particular prism through which we view life. And so I think it's extremely important. And I want to say, you don't need my affirmation, but I just want to say in affirmation of the consistent and resilient word of prophecy, that you have been faithful to that call to speak it and prophesy, even as the prophets of old, when the land could not bear your words. Wow. You've spoken prophecy in that way, and you've encouraged others to lift up their voices and to prophesy. And I want to say that in going forward, if there is not a prophetic word, the people are lost.
And the scriptures seem to be with that, because when we see that scripture that we oftentimes quote, and I was very amazed when I looked at it in another translation that says, without a vision, my people perish. That word vision there,
come on,
talk to us about that.
Well, the whole idea is without a prophetic utterance, without the idea of vision, we always think of as the thing